Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Today we will start a new topic, multidimensional search without using derivatives. When I say multidimensional search, so far we were working with one variable and doing the line search. Now we look at functions of several variables. So again, the same logic, f on several variables, and what we will do first, we will find a vector x, then a suitable direction d, and then f is minimized over x in the direction d by one of the technique using one variable line search. So ultimately, the way we proceed is whenever I say line search, it's a single dimensional search. On a line, we are trying to find a point which will give me a minimum. So the methods we will look at the without using derivatives. There are two of them. First is cyclic coordinate method, and second one is called Hook and Jeeves. And then we will go to multidimensional search using derivative. In multidimensional search using derivative, we will use two methods, steepest descent and Newton's method. So let's start with the first one, cyclic coordinate method. So as the name suggests, can you say how we will proceed finding? Given that you already know how line search works in single dimension. So suppose my function, contour of the function looks something like this. This means that the minimum happens somewhere over here. So if I want to do a line search, how can we proceed? Just think about it. Anyone? So this is a two variable function. We have drawn the contour of the function in 2D, and now we want to proceed with line search. How would you go about it? Any suggestions? So the way it works is, suppose I have started with a point x1. I will move in x1 direction. Okay. Then I will move in x2 direction. Then again I will move in x1 direction, then x2 direction, and hopefully I will be able to find the minimum or close to the minimum. Does that make sense? So what you are doing is, this method uses coordinate axis as the search direction. Okay, so this method, what it does, in any particular, suppose there are n variable, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7, x8, xn. Okay, so first I will do a line search in the direction of x1. It will give me a new point. Taking that point as an initial point, I will do a line search in x2 direction. I mean, not x2 actually, we will call it d2, then d3, then d4, and so we will just, you see that what we are really doing is we are converting the function into one dimension and then trying to do a single variable search. So more specifically, the method Method searches along the directions D1 to Dn, where Dj is a vector of 0 except for a 1 at the jth position. Thus, along such direction dj, the variable xj is changed while keeping all other variables fixed. So read this statement and then we'll discuss. Suppose this point is 8 and this point is 1. So what is the x1 equals to? What is x1 equals to?
I kept
1, 8.
1, 8. So my x1 is 1, 8. Now suppose this is x and this is y for time being. So if I want to move in the direction of x, what d1 becomes equals to? If I want to move in this direction, what d1 becomes? This is a two variable example.
1, 0,
So what is that? Shantanu?
0.
Sorry, I cannot hear you. Can you be a little louder, please?
Sir, 1, 0.
1, 0, because I want to move in the direction of x1. So d1 is 1, 0. So my line search boils down to f x1 plus lambda d1. So x1 is already a vector, d1 is already a vector. Only thing I need to find what is the lambda step size. So based on lambda, suppose I get x2, which is x1 plus lambda d1. Now at x2, now given x2 some point, let's say in this case it is coming out to be 7, 8. So see, 8 remains constant because we have not done any search in the x2 direction, only in the x1 direction. Now I can use d2 as 0, 1. Now I will move in this direction. So 7 will be kept constant and your 8 will change with some step size. So ideally, if you plug in this number, this will boil down to a function of lambda, which is equivalent to a line search. So what we are using, coordinate axis is the search direction, and one by one we are trying to reach there. So as far as algorithm is concerned, I have not copied it, so I have to write the whole algorithm. I will just so first is, just a second. First is initialization step. So based on your experiences with such methods, can you tell me what all needs to be initialized? What all needs to be initialized given this is the method? You have already seen what we want to do.
Initial point and step size.
Initial point and
Step size.
what size?
Step size.
Step size is the thing which we determine every time, right? You agree?
Yes, sir.
Step size is something determine. So you have to choose a scalar epsilon which should be greater than 0. Epsilon is nothing but norm of xk plus 1 minus xk, and keep in mind xk is not a scalar point here but a vector. This is used for termination. Second thing is directions d1 to d1 dn, whatever number of variables be the coordinate directions. Choose an initial point x1, let y1 equals to x1, let k equals to j equals to 1, and go to main step. Just note it down or look at it, then I will write the main step. So first is let lambda j be the optimal solution to the problem to minimize f of yj plus lambda dj, subject to lambda belongs to your real numbers, and let yj plus 1 equals to yj plus lambda j dj. If j is less than n, replace j by j plus 1 and repeat this step. Otherwise, if j is equals to n, go to step 2. Step 2 is let xk plus 1 equals to xn plus 1. If norm xk plus 1 minus xk is less than epsilon, stop. Otherwise, y1 equals to xk plus 1, let j equals to 1, k is changed to k plus 1 and repeat step 1. Just go through the complete algorithm, then we will discuss what it is trying to do. So can you see this counter? What is the use of this counter J, K and J? What is happening? When K is equals to 1, how many J's are being repeated? At 1K equals to 1, how many sub iterations are taking place? How many J's are being evaluated? If you'd like to
N.
write n times,
N, yes, sir.
each one of them represents what? Each J represents what kind of calculation?
Sir, in each direction, for each
In
variable,
each
like,
direction,
yes, sir.
in one iteration, I have to search all the n directions and then get a point. So now one more point is minimizing Fyj plus lambda dj. Is it a line search? Y as a point, which x1, suppose I start with 1 comma 0. dj is also 1 comma 0. So what is this function is? This function will be in what variable? This function will be in terms of lambda. You agree?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Rest of you are very silent.
Yes, sir.
So what we need to find that lambda. Once I know that lambda, we know what is the step length, and then yj plus lambda j dj will give me the next point, and we proceed in the same manner. So what you see in each direction, we are doing a single dimension line search, finding that value, and then proceeding with the next step. So let's try to understand this with an example. So, example. Suppose I want to minimize x1 minus 2 to the power 4 plus x1 minus 2x2 square. Okay, let initial point x1 equals to, it's a two-dimensional, two variable function. So x1 is initial point is 0, 3. We have to initialize d1 as, what would my d1 will be given it is a two-dimensional function? Is the definition of D1, D2 clear? Had there been three variables, what would my D1 becomes? Suppose there are three variables. I mean three coordinate axes. Then how my D1, D2, D3 are defined?
0001.
Deepak Kumar. Deepak, can you hear me?
Sure.
So Deepak, had this been a three-dimensional function, not simply let me put x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. If this is the function you are trying to minimize, what would be your D1, D2, D3 then?
Should be 1 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 1.
Very good. So 1 0 0. So jth position, if you remember the j definition, at jth position it will be 1, otherwise it is. So similarly, the number of dimension as increases, that many line sets you have to use. Thank you, people. So let's start with k equals to j equals to 1. We will initialize here. So I'm in iteration 1 now. So f of, or also I have to set y1 equals to x1. So f of y1 plus lambda d1, nothing but 0, 3 plus lambda 1 0 will give you f of lambda 3, which is nothing but f of lambda comma 3, that is lambda minus 2 to the power 4 plus lambda minus 6 whole square. Please check and confirm if it is correct or not. Is it correct, guys? So this one is nothing but x1 plus lambda d1. Or in this case, we are using x1 is represented by y1. So y1 plus lambda d1. So 0 plus lambda and 3 plus 0. So lambda comma 3. Now, how do I minimize this function? Now I need to minimize this. So I need to minimize lambda minus 2 to the power 4 plus lambda minus 6 whole square. How do I minimize this function?
So first derivative equal to 0.
First derivative equals to 0. Suppose when you are trying to solve such problem, first derivative thing is not working. You are not getting a closed form solution. How do you do?
Then we use algorithm for single variable.
I'm sorry, can you repeat please?
Algorithms which we use for single variable.
So any of the line search algorithm which you know, you can use, whether it is a dichotomous search or, so ideally if you look at it, multi-dimensional search is more involved because you are doing a lot of single dimensional search in that case. So in this case, like lambda minus 2 to the power 4, you have got plus lambda minus 6 square. So each sub iteration, you have to do a line search. And inside the line search, you may use a dichotomous, you may use a bisection, you may use Newton's method. So generally what we do, first we try to see if function equating it to 0 gives you a point, then it is really great. If it is not, and we see that function is differentiable, we go for line search using derivatives. So what are the methods you know in line search using derivatives? What are the methods? You have exam in just few days, your first class test. What are the methods you know? Achha, what are the methods you know in line search without using derivatives?
Golden section method, uniform search method.
Fibonacci, you can minimize f of lambda. I'm saying that this function is equivalent to, call it g of lambda for time being, because this is g of lambda using either first order condition or line search without using derivatives. In that you have, I will not use uniform, I will use at least either dichotomous or golden section or Fibonacci. If you can see that function is once or twice differentiable, I will use line search with derivatives. Under that, I have taught you two. One is bisection method and second one is Newton method. So you have options of various methods which you can use to solve this problem. At least if you just equate and put it to 0, what would be lambda be equals to? Can you give me the lambda value? Because it is in power 4. So resulting equation will be cubic. Can you solve it that easily? So anyway, you can figure out what method you want to use, but generally any of these methods you can use to solve this. So now I will give you how the table would look like. Let me use another here. What are the steps actually you are doing? Okay, so first iteration you have made j equals to k equals to 1. K does not change until j becomes equals to n. So since k does not change, your initial point does not change until it is completed. So if you plug in xk, it is 0, 3 I have given. If you plug in 0, 3 to the function given to you, you will get a value of functional value as f52. So the first part is xk and second part is your functional value. Now for j equals to 1, first sub iteration, your dj is 1, 0 transpose. Yj is 0 because we have put y1 equals to x1. So 0, 3 transpose. Lambda j, after you solve this one, you will get it equals to 3.13. So your yj plus 1 is nothing but yj plus lambda j dj. So this will be 3.13 and 3.00 transpose. So this is you have got is y2. Now when you go to j equals to 2, you will start with this new point 3.0, 1, because you need yj, not x1 anymore. So you will replace 3.13 and 3.00 transpose. From here you can again plug in with the new lambda, you have to find the new lambda that would come out to be minus 1.44, and this will give you 3.13 and 1.56 transpose. Once j becomes equals to n, 2 will go to 2. So ideally, if you look at graphically what has happened, I'm just drawing a equivalent graph. So started with 0,3. You started with, suppose 0,3 was here. This was your x1. Then you moved in the direction of x1 and you reached to almost 3.13 and 3. So maybe 3.13. This is your, let's say 3.13, 0. So 3.13, 3. Then you take 3.13 and 3 and make in D2 direction search. So you came down to 3.13 and 1.56. So suppose this is 0, 1.56. So this point is 3.13, 1.56. Okay, so this is complete one iteration from here to here and then here. So now my x2, x1 was this, x2 is 3.13 and 1.56. Now I will take this 3.13 and 1.56, evaluate the functional value, which will come out to be 1.63. I will do the next iteration again. So here again, I will move in this direction and maybe in this direction. So this is how we can calculate using. But as I said, this is more involved. What happens? We try to find every sub iteration actually requires a line search, and that line search can have multiple iteration for itself. So a lot of calculation is generally required for multi-dimensional search. Can you think of any other idea of improving just based on your thoughts? I'm doing just one direction and then going to two directions. So what you can do, this is called acceleration step. Suppose the function looks like this. Okay, started with point x1, first in this direction, then in this direction. Okay, at this point you got your x2. What acceleration step means, every pth iteration, you can decide what that pth iteration is. Maybe just after two iteration you can do, or two sub iteration, or after n iteration, every pth iteration, rather than moving in x. Now, based on the algorithm, which direction I should move? I have got my point x2. Based on the cyclic coordinate method, which direction I should move now? I've started with x1. I have moved in d1 10 and then d2 01. What direction I should move now?
x1.
X1. Rather than doing that, you do this. Move in the direction of, and here is your x optimal. Move in the direction of x2 minus x1. So you already have x2, you already have x1. So you can say that rather than just moving in, every time I will first move in d1, then d2, and then one more iteration, in this one more sub iteration in the direction of -1, 1. So this is called acceleration step, because what happens, because of this, you might end up somewhere over here in the first sub iteration itself, rather than taking one more iteration to reach there. So this step is called acceleration step, and it is useful in finding, expediting the process. Any questions in cyclic coordinate method? Is the method clear?
Sir, for the acceleration step, step 2, give lambda 1 and lambda 2 instead of 1 1.
What is that?
If I multiply it again with lambda, then both the directions are multiplied with the same amount. So it is basically going at 45 degrees.
So, Shantanu, I'm not getting your question correctly. First, I will move in direction of D1, and then I will move in direction of D2 because I need to get X1 and X2 both point, and then I move in the direction of D3, which is in the 45 degree.
Yes, sir. Sir, but here is it like should we not consider also that the lambdas like from lambda 1 and lambda 2, and then D3 should be like minus lambda 1 comma lambda 2?
No, what I'm saying, once you reach the point X2, okay,
Yes, sir.
you take a direction D3 from here. So you have to find a new lambda. How much step in this direction you want to take?
Yes, sir. So that is one lambda like completely multiplying for the entire vector, or only like I will multiply with a matrix which is lambda 1, lambda 2 for D3.
I'm really not getting something. So you are saying the first time you have solved, you got lambda 1. Okay. Now this as x y1 plus lambda d1, lambda 1 d1. This is the new point. With this point, you solve for d2 for lambda 2. Is this correct? You got a new point y2 plus lambda 2 d2, which is nothing but your x2. Now, once you have your x2, you move in the direction of d3, which is at the 45 degree. So again, you will have a new lambda, which will be lambda 3. And for that, we will try to minimize. Is the understanding clear?
Actually, I was considering lambda 3 as a matrix which has two different lambdas for D3.
How come your lambda has become a matrix? Lambda is step length in every iteration, right? So when does lambda comes in? Lambda is, step size in a particular direction. It is a scalar value which you get. Like lambda 1 in this case you have got is as 3.13, right? So whatever line search we do x equals to x1 equals to x0 plus lambda d, right? So your lambda is a scalar quantity which you are trying to find using a line search. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, guys? So next class after your class test, because next week we have been told because you will be having all the tests. So now we will meet for as a class on 28th the Monday, the 28th February the Monday. You will have your class test. I just thought I will remind you your first class test on next Tuesday, which is 22nd of February. Although we have a 2-hour class, let me see how lengthy the paper will be. It could be 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So the syllabus, as I said, will be until the line search using derivatives, which I have covered last on Thursday, 10th of February. So you just go through it. I have asked TH, I have provided him solution. So he might be correcting your, let me see if he has started correcting. Otherwise, maybe by tomorrow, all your assignments will be graded, and I will also post the answer keys, not the solution. So no solutions, I will give you the answer keys. If you want, okay, he has just written 4 of them. Slowly he will return all of them. So generally my assignments are less of, okay, all the 4 has not submitted actually. Okay, so my assignments are generally mostly you will see the marks, the way we give is effort plus correctness. If you have done it correct and you have followed the procedures and everything fine, you will get the full marks. If you have made the effort, maybe some mistakes, you will get maybe some mistake or a lot of mistake, you will get half of mark. The idea is for the homework is for you to practice. Otherwise, many a times, especially in online sessions, what is happening? People are not practicing. They are just thinking maths they can learn by just looking at the screen. So your homeworks will be graded and evaluated and returned by maybe by tomorrow, and if not by Sunday, it will be returned. I will also post the answer key by Saturday or Sunday. If you have any doubt, I am planning that I will be available. You don't have to attend the class. I will be available during the Monday class hours 12 to 1. If you have any doubt, you can come to the Teams meeting and discuss with me. You are free to do that. It is not a compulsory class because ideally we are asked not to take any classes during the class test week. So I will be available between 12 to 1 on Monday. If you have any doubts, you can come, you can join the meeting, you can discuss your question or listen to other people's what questions they have, and I will try to clarify that. Your class test will be pen paper based. So like the assignment at a particular time, the class test will appear. So class test, because it will be because Monday, Tuesday we are 10 to 12 class test hours. So your class test hour will between 10 to 12. Depending on how lengthy paper, I may make it 10 to 11:30 or whatever. So it will be time bound homework assignment. Think of it like that. I will keep in consideration that after you write your answers in pen and paper, you have to take the images, photographs, and then upload it. So I will keep 10 minutes for that. So if I'm giving you 1 hour 30 minutes for class test, 1 hour 20 minutes for you to work on the problems, and 10 minutes for taking photographs and submit it on the Teams. So exactly the way you submit it during your homework assignment 1, the same procedure follows. So nothing to worry about the how to upload and all that. Generally, I do not allow any, because it will be time bound. After that, you will not be able to submit your assignments. So do not wait for, if I'm giving you until 11:30, at 11:28 you start taking the images. Do not do that. Whatever you have done until 11:20, start taking the images and upload it first. If you have anything extra and if you have time, you can upload it as a supplement in the same assignment, because it will be opened until 11:30 or 12, whatever time I will give. As I said, your syllabus will be covered until your question paper will cover syllabus until the last class which we had on 10th, that is line search using derivatives. Any other questions regarding the class test? Anything you want for me to prepare for class tests? Anything?
Sir, any admit cards are generated for the test?
Santanu, it's a
Sir, I
online.
read the rules that is
Huh?
in the like while filling up the MS forms, I actually found that something was there that we have to bring admit cards.
Okay, but that is for offline class test, na? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
ऑनलाइन में मैं तुम्हारे घर कैसे आऊंगा यार तुम्हारा एडमिट कार्ड टेस्ट चेक करने शांतनु? Where do you live?
Sir, I am right now in hostel.
In campus only? ठीक है, मैं तुम्हारा एडमिट कार्ड चेक करने आऊंगा, ठीक? No admit card, nothing is required. That is for when see the still the system shows all the previous rules, so do not worry about that. It is a class test, so you just need to be online at no, you don't need to come online actually. Class, like your assignment appears in your Teams window, it will appear at the right time, and maximum what you can do, you can keep your team window open for this channel, so that if I am sending a message in the Teams channel, you can see those messages, or if you have any questions, you can write on that Teams channel. Other than that, you don't need to come online. You just download, download the question paper from the assignment tab and start working on your. Make sure you use A4 white sheets, okay, and blue pen, because when you take images, it becomes legible, because I will be checking it, not the TA, and if it is not clear to me, I will not assign any marks. That is first thing. Second thing, if I see a rampant of copying and everything, I will give 0 to both the guys who has copied and who has assisted. Both of them I will give 0. I'm not going to check who has helped or who has not helped. So keep that in mind, that do not try to copy or assist others in copying. Whatever WhatsApp group you have for this class, do not use that. Try to get credits on what you know, not what your friends knows, because that will not help anyway in future. Okay, anything else? So best of luck. Anyway, I will be available on Monday. If you have any questions, doubt in the syllabus, I will try to clarify it. You can come and join. If not, prepare well for your class test, especially quadratic programming part. People makes a lot of mistake in solving simplex algorithm. So try to do that correctly. And regarding the classes which I have missed in this week, Monday and Tuesday, I will try to take care of them after your class test. In one of the week, I will take one hour. I will not burden you with 2 hours instead. I will take one an hour and try to make up for those missed classes. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I will see you, if not next Monday, next to next Monday, we'll meet again. Thank you. Bye-bye. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.